Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affair of 25th and 26th of July 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affair. So watch this video till last, but I am requesting you all the students that you have to download our application. Application name is Careers Cloud and the link is given in the description box. And guys, after downloading, you have to log in with your email ID and you can click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. But the most important thing that we are covering 90 to 95% of that current affairs, which are very important for every type of exam. So guys, how we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily section, you will receive three things. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format, and the quiz section, which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly, and we are providing same three things: detailed current affair, question and answer format, and the quiz, which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. And the most important section here is the monthly, and we are providing four type of PDFs. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format, best 100 current affair, that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and the pocket PDF. It means the 2-liner and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise in the quick format. We are also providing topic wise current affair. We are covering 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. If you want to cover all related news of single topic, then you have to use this type of PDF. And if you are a banking student, then we are providing three things. One is the detail and the question and answer format of current affairs only related to banking and economy. And third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on your application on monthly basis. And guys, if you want to cover all the current affairs, past current affair of 2021, you can use this exam PDF. And we are also providing detailed budget and economic survey. And we are also providing expected question and answer which examiner can ask from budget and economic survey. If you are a state aspirant, you are preparing for your state exam, then we are also providing state current affairs, and we are covering every state and union territory. So there is no different subscription for these topics. We are providing all these things under one subscription. You have to just download our application from the description box link. You can log in with your email ID, and after that you can click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the prices are very much low, but if you see the price, you will definitely surprise. And guys, remember, on that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount. You have to use this code ASH10, then you will get 10% extra discount. And guys, remember, to solve any query, you have to mail us on this email ID or you can contact us on this number. So let's start today's current affair, that is 25th and 26th of July. But first of all, you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, remember, you can motivate us by providing these three things, and please join our Telegram group from description box link. And here is the first question. We will discuss two questions in the most important section. Now we are discussing the first question, and here is the first. Who was honored with the Alexander Dalrymple Award or Dalrymple Award? You have to just remember the name, Alexander Dalrymple Award. It is the one of the United Kingdom highest award. So this award belongs to United Kingdom, and answer of this question is Vinay Badhavar, or you have to just remember the name. C is the answer. You can see here the picture of Vinay, and he is basically an Indian chief hydrographer, and he is vice admiral under the, you can say, Navy, and name is Vinay Badhavar. And Alexander Dalrymple Award is a top award of the United Kingdom. We already covered this point. And this award is given for his distinguished contribution towards the hydrography. So this award is basically related to hydrography. And guys, remember, his distinguished contribution towards hydrography, and he was listed for the award in the year of 2019 as well. But the award ceremony was delayed due to COVID-19 pandemic. And this award name is also related to one of the hydrographer, because the Alexander Dalrymple Award is conferred since 2006. It means this award is given since 2006 to honor the contribution of the first hydrographer all over world, that is Alexander Dalrymple. So you have to just remember the name, Vinay Badhavar, Alexander Dalrymple, and this is the UK's highest award. And guys, remember other options, like you can see here, Shailesh Gunpal. He recently received Counter-Terrorism Innovator Award for 2021. Dr. Tahira Kutubuddin, again most important award, because she's the first Indian who win 15th Sheikh Zayed Book Award. Remember this. And Shakuntala Harak Singh Thilsted, again most important award, because she won 2021 World Food Prize. Very important awards you have to remember, because it can be asked in the SBI exam. Now we are moving to the next question. World largest floating solar farm to be built in which country? Again, we are talking about the world level question, and it is the largest floating solar farm, and the country is Indonesia. So you have to remember, answer of this question is D. You can see here two companies basically contracted for this. One is the Singapore Sunsip Group. Second is the Batam Indonesia Free Zone Authority signed a memorandum of understanding to build this world's largest floating solar farm and energy storage system in Indonesian city, which is also known as Batam city. Batam is basically one of the island, and they will construct this largest solar farm under the Batam city, and total capacity of this solar farm will be the 2.2 gigawatt. That is a huge capacity, 2.2 gigawatt, and the project would begin in 2022 and it will be completed in 2024. It means 2 years. Under the 2 years this project will be completed, and the total land will be acquired, that is 1600 hectares will be used to build this solar farm. And guys, remember, if we're talking about India, then India's largest floating solar power plant is 100 megawatt power plant, and it is being constructed at Ramagundam. Remember this place, Ramagundam. Ramagundam is in Pedapalli district. Pedapalli district is in Telangana. So it means examiner can ask the name of the state, name of the district, or exact place, that is Ramagundam, and its capacity is 100 megawatt, and it is India's largest floating solar plant, and it will India's largest solar plant in a single location. You can also remember this. So Telangana is the state. Now we are moving to the next question. Most important questions we covered. Now we are moving to the very important questions. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, please join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the question. What is the new threshold of personal loans that could be granted to any directors and their relatives of other banks according to RBI? Because RBI recently changed this threshold. Earlier the threshold was 25 lakhs for the directors and their relatives without any approval, but we are only talking about the category personal loans. Now RBI changed this 25 lakh to 5 crore rupees. So remember this, especially for the banking students. Answer of this question is D. And guys, you can see here RBI allows loans up to 5 crore, and it is only personal loan, not the business loans, to other banks directors without board approval. And after 26 years, RBI has amended the regulatory restrictions on the personal loans and advances that are granted to the bank directors and their relatives. Earlier in 1996, RBI fixed this loans amount that is 25 lakh. But now they changed to 5 crore rupees. So RBI has increased this threshold of the personal loans that could be granted to any directors and their relatives of their banks to rupees 5 crore from 25 lakhs. And earlier it was fixed in 1996. Now after 26 years they changed. So the revised threshold regulations are only applicable for the personal loans. I am again pointing this out that it is only for the personal loans, not for the business loans. And for the business loans, the amount is still remains same, that is 25 lakh rupees. And the banks no need to get approval from the board of directors or the management committee to grant loans above rupees 5 crore. It means if the loan amount is more than 5 crore, then they need to get some you can say the approval from the board of directors. But if the loan amount is below, then 5 crore rupees, then they no need to get any type of the approval from the board of directors. So you have to just remember the amount, that is 5 crore for the personal loan categories, but for the business loan it is still 25 lakh rupees. Now we are moving to the next question. Which bank selected Paisa-Lo Digital? So you have to just remember the name Paisa-Lo Digital as a national corporate business correspondent of the bank. So guys, it is important for the banking student, because as a business correspondent of this bank, Paisa-Lo Digital will focus on boosting the fully digital small loan business under SBI Paisa-Lo Loan Co-Orientation. And guys, answer of this question is State Bank of India. I already gave you hint. And as a business correspondent, they are basically the retail agents engaged by the banks for providing banking services at locations other than a bank branch or the ATM. And this bank correspondent model was introduced by the RBI in the year of 2006. This question is very important, and it is a static question. That banking correspondent system was started by RBI in which year? It is started in 2006. And as a you can say the banking or the business correspondent, they work like the retail agents, and they are engaged by the banks for providing banking services at the rural areas, or you can say the semi-rural areas, and other than a bank, ATM or the branch, and they are providing very you can say the useful services to the customers, like saving account opening, cash withdrawal. These services are provided by the business correspondent, and SBI appointed Paisalo Digital as a business correspondent. So SB selects Paisalo Digital for the engagement as a corporate business correspondent, and it has been selected to ensure greater financial inclusion, because maximum to maximum people now can attach with the SBI through this business correspondent, and to increase the delivery of its financial services. So all the financial services will reach to the customers or the rural area customers through this business correspondents. So as a business correspondent, Paisalo Digital will provide a banking services through kiosk. So you have to just remember about the SBI here. SBI was established on the 1st of July 1955, and its chairman is Dinesh Kumar Khara, and headquarters is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and tagline is the banker to every bank. I think all the students know this. Moving to next question. What is the theme of World Brain Day 2021? So we are talking about very important day, that is World Brain Day, and it is observed every year on 22nd of July. Remember, every year on 22nd of July. And this day is celebrated by one of the most important organization, world level organization, which is known as World Federation of Neurology. Because we are talking about brain, that's why it is an organization related to neurology. And guys, the theme is Stop Multiple Sclerosis. So remember, the theme is Stop Multiple Sclerosis. And multiple sclerosis means it is a cognitive neurological disease that leads to physical disability among people across the age groups. And you can see here 22nd of July, World Brain Day, Stop Multiple Sclerosis. And it is to create awareness on the neurological diseases and their effects. And the year focus is the main focus of this year is multiple sclerosis. And guys, remember, annually over 2.8 million people across the world are affected by the multiple sclerosis. And I already covered this point that it is a cognitive neurological disease that leads to physical disability among people across age groups. And the first World Brain Day was observed on 22nd of July 2014. And guys, remember, the name of the organization is World Federation of Neurology, and its headquarters is in London. So remember, it is celebrated or observed on the 22nd of July, and the main focus of this year is multiple sclerosis. That's why the theme is Stop Multiple Sclerosis. It is a neurological disease. Now we are moving to next question. One book was released, and the name of the book is Bank with a Soul, Equitas, authored by whom? And guys, the most important thing under this question, that this book is released by one of the former governor of RBI, which is very famous, that is D. Subba Rao, very famous governor of RBI, D. Subba Rao. And this book is released by D. Subba Rao, not written by D. Subba Rao. This book is written by C.K. Garyali. So answer of this question is C. You can see here the cover page of this book, C.K. Garyali, and this book is forwarded by D. Subba Rao, also released by D. Subba Rao, former governor of RBI, and the name of the book is Bank with a Soul, Equitas. And you can also see here the book documents the journey of Equitas and added in the transforming the lives of women with frequent social reform initiatives. And guys, and how the women and how the Equitas company helped in establishing micro enterprises and in pioneering financial inclusivity. The foreword of the book has been written by the D. Subba Rao, the former governor of RBI, who served as 22nd RBI governor from 2008 to 2013. So you can just remember, because this book is released by D. Subba Rao, that's why you can remember this name of the book. Book is Bank with a Soul, Equitas. This is the functioning of the Equitas group, and how they help the women to become the entrepreneur. This is the main. So that's why this book is written by C.K. Garyali. Moving to next question. Which state will recognize IIM Shillong, most important organization all over India, as the official think tank and knowledge partner of the state government? Again, very important question. And this IIM Shillong will help the state government to implement its flagship projects by providing critical interventions, and especially IIM Shillong expertise will definitely help the state to formulate the new plans. And this state is Arunachal Pradesh. So guys, remember, answer of this question is C. You can see here the MOU aims at promoting mutual agreement between the two organizations. One is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Center, which is situated in the IIM Shillong, and the Finance, Planning and the Investment Department of the Government of Arunachal Pradesh. And IIM Shillong will organize capacity building programs for the newly recruited officers of the Arunachal Pradesh. And a satellite center will be a setup and extension of the knowledge center at IIM Shillong at Itanagar. One satellite center will be established. It will help in imparting skill training to youths, entrepreneurship development, promoting startup ecosystem. So everything which need any expertise, IIM Shillong will provide to the Arunachal Pradesh. So they will formulate new plans. They will basically implement in better manner. So Arunachal Pradesh can become the you can say example for the northeastern states and the development hub for the northeastern states. So guys, remember Arunachal Pradesh and IIM Shillong here. Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister is Pema Khandu. Pema Khandu. Governor is BD Mishra. Basically, you can say the retired Brigadier BD Mishra. You can remember this name. And guys, there are very important national parks are there, like Namdapha National Park is there. Namdapha National Park. One is Pakke National Park or the Pakke National Park, and Mauling National Park is also there. Mauling National Park is there. One river enters to India from this state, that is Arunachal Pradesh, because it comes from the China and it bends towards India. This is Brahmaputra, and it enters in India through Arunachal Pradesh, and in Arunachal Pradesh its name is Dehang. So guys, you can also remember this. Moving to next question. Which organization adopted a new first ever resolution on vision named Vision for Everyone to make eye care services? So you have to remember the keyword here, Vision for Everyone. And this initiative is started by United Nations. Remember, answer of this question is C. And you can see here United Nations adopted the first resolution, that is Vision aims to help 1 billion people. You can just remember, it is to make eye care services an integral part of universal health coverage and address the increasing impact of vision loss on the sustainable development. Its main objective to provide eye care services at least to 1.1 billion people with vision impairment by the year of 2030 with the you can say the sustainable development goals, especially those who lack eye services. So they will cover 1.1 billion people, and they will provide eye care services till the year of 2030. And the resolution was co-sponsored by the 100 countries of the United Nations General Assembly. And the International Classification of Diseases, which was declared in 2018, and they classified 11 most important diseases at the international level. And vision impairment was also classified into the two groups. One is the distance, second is the near presenting vision impairment, and the resolution would assist the member countries to achieve sustainable development goal number 3, which tells us about the you can say the healthy lives and the promote well-being for all at all the ages. This is the sustainable development goal. So by providing the eye care services to the needy people, we can achieve this sustainable goal number 3 till the year of 2030. So this is the goal. And guys, remember about United Nations General Assembly. It was established in 1945. Its headquarters is in New York, and its president is Volkan Bozkir. Remember, Volkan Bozkir. And its member countries are 193. Moving to next question. What is the name of initiative which is launched by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment for the welfare of beggars? We are talking about specifically about beggars. And guys, remember the focus of this scheme is on rehabilitation, provision of medical facilities, you can say counseling, education, and every kind of services which can be provided to the beggars so that they can you can say they can change their livelihood system and they can enhance their livelihood. And this scheme named is, or this initiative named as SMILE. So you have to remember, government has formulated a scheme covering comprehensive measures for the welfare of the beggars. And you can see here, SMILE stands for Sport for Marginalized Individuals for Livelihood and Enterprise. It is basically to increase the livelihood. So I already covered this point that the focus of the scheme is on rehabilitation, provisions of medical facilities, counseling, basic documentation, education, skill development, you can say economic linkages, survey and identification, mobilization, basic hygiene, among others. So these things will be provided to the beggars so that they can enhance their livelihood. And they will cover several comprehensive measures for the welfare of the beggars. And like these type of the measures like education, skill development, it will be provided. And the scheme would be implemented with the support of the state government, center government, union territories, local urban bodies, panchayats, NGOs, voluntary groups, and any other who want to help. So main focus is to just provide the maximum to maximum livelihood to the beggars. So guys, remember, we are talking about the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Union Minister is Dr. Virender Kumar. Dr. Virendra Kumar. So you have to just remember the name of the initiative, and it is started by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and it is for beggars. Moving to next question. NASA has selected which space company for the Europa Clipper mission? So you have to just remember the keyword here, Europa Clipper mission. It is basically it will be launched by NASA in the year of 2024. You have to remember it will be launched in 2024. Europa is basically the name of the satellite or name of the moon of Jupiter, one of the moon of Jupiter. It means this mission is for the Jupiter's satellite, which is named as Europa. And this mission will be launched by NASA with the help of SpaceX. So answer of this question is D. So you can see here, SpaceX to launch NASA's Europa Clipper mission, that is known as IC Jupiter Moon. And it will be the Earth's first mission to conduct detailed investigation of Jupiter's moon Europa. It is also known as the IC satellite. And Jupiter moon Europa is approximately 390 million miles, or in kilometer you can say it is approximately 630 million kilometers from far away from Earth, and the journey is expected to take more than 5 years. It means if it will be launched in 2024, then it will reach in 2030. And the mission will investigate whether the icy moon has conditions stable for life or not, and it will produce high resolution images of Europa's surface, determine its composition, looks for the sign of recent ongoing geological activities and others in Europa. And the Europa Clipper mission will be launched in October 2024, and it will reach in 2050 because it is so much far away, like 630 million kilometers. So it will take more than 5 years. So as remember, Europa Clipper mission, it is related to Jupiter mission, and Europa is the name of the one of the satellite or the moon of the Jupiter, and it will be launched with the help of SpaceX. And guys, remember about NASA here. NASA's chief administrator is Bill Nelson. Remember Bill Nelson, it was recently appointed, and he was the 14th administrator of NASA. And remember about SpaceX. SpaceX head is Elon Musk. You can remember this. Move to next question. Question from the picture, that renowned Marathi poet Satish Kalsekar passed away. You have to just remember the name of the language. He was Marathi poet. It means he belongs to Maharashtra, and the name is Satish Kalsekar. And guys, especially the students who belongs to Maharashtra, you have to remember the name of the poems which he you can say penned or the wrote. His popular collection of the poems include like Shakshat and Vilambit and Indra Upanishad. So you have to just remember this. Moving to next question. So all the most important and the very important questions we covered. Now we are moving to important questions. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, remember you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the question. Who launched the Renewables Integration in India 2021 report? So we are talking about the Renewable Energy Report, and it is released by Niti Aayog and the International Energy Agency. So answer of this question is both A and B. So you can see here, Niti Aayog and International Energy Agency launched Renewables Integration in India 2021. And the report is based on the outcome of the workshops held with the state governments of the Maharashtra, Karnataka and Gujarat. And the workshops were held to understand the specific energy transition challenges faced by the renewable rich states like Maharashtra, Karnataka and the Gujarat. And this report also provides the suggestions for the state to manage the integration of the renewable energy sources, so that we can use maximum to maximum renewable energy, and we can also produce maximum to maximum renewable energy, because we have targets like 175 gigawatt target we have to achieve through the renewable energy by the year of 2022, and 450 gigawatt by the year of 2030. So we have to achieve this. So by this we can use maximum to maximum renewable energy, like largest solar floating power plant in India, that is in you can say Ramagundam in Telangana district, 100 megawatts. So we have to use this type of things, and we have to produce these type of things. So you have to remember it is Niti Aayog and International Energy Agency, and headquarter of International Energy Agency is in Paris. And Niti Aayog CEO is Amitabh Kant, deputy chairman or you can say the vice chairman is Dr. Rajiv Kumar, and chairman is Prime Minister, and this organization was formed in 2015. Moving to next question. So it is Income Tax Day, which was celebrated on the 24th of July 2021. But the most important thing here, that we celebrated 161st Income Tax Day. And guys, remember, the first income tax, or you can say in India, the first time income tax was introduced on 24th of July 1860. Remember, after the revolt of 1857, like after, you can say, almost 3 years, 24th of July 1860, income tax was introduced by Sir James Wilson. You can remember this. It is a static question, and it will definitely increase your knowledge. James Wilson. And it is just to compensate the British government for the losses incurred during the first war of independence, that is known as 1857 revolt. And we are celebrating now from 1860 to 2021, and we are celebrating 161st of the income tax day, or it is also known as Ayakar Divas. And guys, remember, there is a department to control all the income tax related issues like CBDT, Centre Board of Direct Taxes. It was established in 1924 by the British government, and currently chairman is Jagannath Vidyadhar Mohapatra. Jagannath Vidyadhar Mohapatra. Headquarter is in New Delhi. Moving to next question. So now we are moving to the one-liner important point. Here is the first point, but first of all we have to change the color, and the question is Fragile X. You have to remember, World Fragile X Day 2021 is observed on the July 22, 2021. The annual Fragile X Day was held on 22nd of July 2021, marking the 21st year of celebrating Fragile X awareness. And the entire month of July is being celebrated as 2021 Fragile X Awareness Month through awareness messages and programs. Now, what is this Fragile X? Fragile X syndrome is genetic disease inherited from the parents to their children that causes developmental and intellectual disabilities. So it is also related to the disabilities, but it is developmental and the intellectual disability. So it is observed on the 22nd of July. And remember, full month of July is observed as the Fragile X Day or the month. Next is APEDA collaborates with the Ladakh officials to boost unique agriculture produce to increase farmers' income in the region. First of all, you have to remember the name of the organization, that is APEDA, Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. The farmers who are using the organic farming and they are producing some type of products, this will be marketed by this organization which is known as APEDA. After marketing, they will sell these products and the income of the farmer can be increased because they will provide maximum to maximum marketing, and maximum to maximum product can be sold in the other markets. So APEDA will work as the marketing agency, or you can say can work as the middle agency, so that they can provide these Ladakh farmers product to the other you can say state people. So you have to just remember about here APEDA. APEDA comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Headquarters is in New Delhi and chairman is Dr. Angamuthu, but you don't have to remember the name. And the focus of this collaboration is just to make Ladakh as an organic region till 2025. Recently, Ladakh tied up with the Sikkim state so that Ladakh can become the organic union territory by the year of 2025, because Sikkim is already become the first state of India who recognized as a organic state. Next is Corteva Agri Science. It is the name of the company to promote sustainable rice production in the state of Uttar Pradesh. We are talking about Uttar Pradesh. So Corteva Agri Science, it is a global agriculture firm, signed a 3-year agreement with one of the company which is known as 2030 World Resource Group, especially for the UP students. Agreement with the 2030 Water Resource Group to transform 40,000 hectare, 14,000 not hectare, it is acre, 40,000 acre land in Uttar Pradesh with the sustainable rice cultivation technique. So it will provide the better income to the farmers, and they will work on promoting the use of direct seeded rice technique, hybrid seeds and the mechanized sowing instead of the traditional method. So it will definitely increase the income of farmers of the Uttar Pradesh. And there is an election due in Uttar Pradesh in 2022. Remember this. Chief Minister is Yogi Adityanath, Governor is Anandiben Patel, and guys, remember, very important national park is there, Dudhwa National Park. Next is RBI plans to introduce central bank digital currency in phases. Now we are talking about Indian digital currency, and it will be launched by Reserve Bank of India. And this statement is given by one of the deputy governor of RBI, that is T. Ravi Shankar. And this you can say central bank digital currency is a legal tender that would be issued by the central bank in a digital form, and it is exchangeable 1-to-1 with the fiat currency, and it would be appear as a liability on a central bank balance sheet. So it means you can use this digital currency as the normal currency. So it is a plan of RBI. So if the more detail comes, then I will definitely share with you. 61% of the global drowning deaths in 2019 was in Asia Pacific region. It is a report of World Health Organization. And guys, it is the first World Health Organization regional assessment on drowning prevention. And the World Health Organization released 2 reports. One is for the Western Pacific and second is for the Asia Pacific region. And out of 85 countries, 48 countries, drowning is among the top 5 causes of the death for children under the age of 15. So this is a huge concern and we have to tackle this concern. But you have to remember this data, 61%. Next, Cabinet approved the establishment of a central university in Ladakh at a cost of 750 crores. So you have to just remember, one central university will be established in Ladakh, and this information is given by a newly appointed Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting, that is Anurag Singh Thakur. And he informed about the Union Cabinet approval for the formation of Central University in the Ladakh with a project cost of 750 crore. And he also informed that the first phase of the university will be completed in 4 years, and the jurisdiction of the upcoming Central University will cover the entire Ladakh region, including Leh and the Kargil area. So it will educate the people, and the establishment of the Ladakh will took place. And guys, remember about Ladakh capital is Leh, and Lieutenant Governor or the Lieutenant Governor is Radhakrishan Mathur. There is very important national park here. Hemis National Park is there. Moving to next question. So all the most important, very important and the important questions covered. Now we are moving to the question of the day. What was the question of 24th of July? Question was, what does the VPA stands for? What is the full form of this VPA and why it is used? So answer is very simple. Answer of this question is D, virtual payment address. Very simple question. So a virtual payment address is a unique identifier that helps UPI to track a person's account. So it means it is used to, you can say, for the UPI transactions, and it acts as a ID independent of your bank account number and other details. And VPA can be used to make and request payments through a UPI enabled application. I think all the students know about the VPA, and you can just remember, I am just giving you example that XYZ at the rate ICICI ICICI or ICICI OK, I think. So this is the VPA. So it is virtual payment address, and you can do your UPI payments through this VPA address. So it is virtual payment address. Moving to next. It is the question of the day. Very simple question. Which of the following name is used to refer the RBI? So what is the another name of RBI which is generally used to refer RBI? So you have to answer me only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer, guys. You have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section, definitely. And guys, don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Please always be happy. Happiness is the key of success. Thank you, guys. Always smile like this. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye bye.